So here we're going to do the first half of the short row shaping, which, as you can see, goes from long to short, and I've done all the wrap and turns but the final two. And that means for the first half of our sweater, when we're going from short to long, we're doing our wrap and turns on the purl side. So each time the pattern is going to give you the total number of stitches that you're going to purl. And what we're doing is we're going to go for each size a set number of stitches before the wrap and turn, but the pattern will tell you the total number of stitches that you're going to work. Now there's a lot of different ways to do a short row. This pattern uses a wrap and turn, and I'm going to recommend that you do the type of wrap and turn that involves moving the stitch before the yarn. It makes it much easier to hide the wrap. Now here you see where that gap is. That shows you where the last wrap and turn is. And if you turn it around, you can see it much clearer on the knit side because it looks like a little purl bump sitting on the knit side. And there we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches before that last wrap, which is where I'm going to wrap again. So my yarn is in the front because I'm purling. So the first thing I'm going to do is move the stitch, then move the yarn, move the stitch back, move the yarn. So it's always stitch, yarn, stitch, yarn. And now the T, which is turn. And we knit our way to the end of the row. And we're going to have one last wrap and turn, and then finally the closing row. So I just want to get a chance to show you how to close the wraps in purl. So when you go from long to short, you wrap everything and then hide them. But next, we're going to go from short to long, and you'll see there we hide each wrap as we get ready to wrap the next stitch. So there's our final wrap. Again, you have, turn it around, you can see the gap. So there's the last wrap and turn. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, which is in this little swatch what I'm going to do, 4 stitches between each wrap. So one more chance to get to see it. That yarn is in the front because I was purling. We move the stitch first, then the yarn, move the stitch back, complete the wrap, and turn it around. So now let's take a look at hiding all of those wraps. So we have completed all of our wrap and turns, and you can see there's my piece going from long to short, and the top half will change colors, and that's a little something that we call short row intarsia. So it's like doing 2 wedges, but instead of doing true intarsia, we're doing 1 short row wedge followed by another short row wedge. So let's take a look at how to hide those wraps. Now of course in the purl side, they hide beautifully amongst the purl bumps. So one thing that can sort of signal you when they're coming is those gaps. So you can see, here's the gaps, and there's that gap and a wrap. Gap wrap, gap wrap. But when in doubt, another way you can sort of check it out is if you think, well, is that the wrap stitch? Slide that stitch from one needle to the other, and you can look inside and you can see, nope, there's just the purl bump, so that stitch is not wrapped. But if we take a look at this one, slide it from one needle to another, now if we look on the inside, we can actually see 2 pieces of yarn. One is the purl bump and one is the wrap. So yes, that is my wrapped stitch. So let's take a look at how to hide that wrap. We're going to take the tip of our right needle, and from the front of our fabric, from the right side of the fabric, we're going to insert the needle bottom to top into the wrap, lift it up onto the needle, and we're going to purl 2 together. So let's take another look at that. So again, you can always slow down as you get towards the wrap and double check it by sliding it from one needle to another and see, is it the wrap? Yes, it is. You can also turn it around if you're having trouble seeing, and if you look from the public side of the fabric, from the right side, you can definitely tell, yes, that's my wrapped stitch. So one more time, we're going to take the tip of our right needle, go bottom to top into the wrap from the public side of the fabric, from the right side of the fabric, lift it up onto the needle, and we'll purl 2 together. So that's hiding the wrap on the purl side. I'm Patty Lyons, and next up we're going to look at going from the other side. Instead of going from long to short, we're going to take a look at what it's like to go from short to long.